and at the beat. But upstairs at the feeling and that beat when we get live from the basement. You can feel it in your face when we get live from the basement.
He has made it.
Don Key.
Whoa. Oh, they got the little, hey. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Keke the Don is in the building. The SUC captain, we've been waiting on the man for a year.
The super legend next time.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. I'm here. Let's get it on. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it epic.
Yeah, you know what I'm
They
saying?
came at the right time. We got the anniversary.
20 years.
Damn, man, I'm 22.
Oh my Lord.
Right.
You know, this kind of messed up my my hoax that I've been running that I was 25 for. Now I ain't found out.
Oh, no, you can hang it up. You can hang it up.
I think I was in middle school, Southside, not there yet.
I was 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm about.
Boy, y'all killing me right now.
I'm sorry.
That's like,
I was 19, so I was 19, 20. You know what I'm saying? I was 19, 20 years old, so it ain't that bad.
Did you think whenever you dropped that tape 20 years ago that we'll be sitting here 20 years later speaking about an anniversary to it?
No, because we didn't care about it like that back then. Like I tell people all the time that I commend Beyonce and them. You know, they was coming up with us. I got videos and stuff where they was coming to my shows and hugging and Beyonce jumping up and down and love Lil Keke and all that. We didn't do talent shows and you know what I want to say. We didn't do talent shows and demos. I've never done a demo. I never done a talent show, and I brought Beyonce and them up because they was going to Star Search. They was getting booed and stuff. We didn't do that. We came straight from the screw tapes and doing that. And this was more about a hood culture thing for us. You know what I'm saying? More about, it was just about us. It wasn't. I didn't care if you heard it or the North Side heard it. It was really more about, you know, my community, the Southside, and all the hoods, Third Ward, South Park, Sunnyside, especially when we was doing screw tapes. Now, when I did do Don't Mess With Texas, and the reason that I named it Don't Mess With Texas is because at the time it was more, you know, when I grew up, everything was about Run DMC, and if you can quote a Run DMC line in a whole song, you was it at school, you know what I'm saying? And then it became about California and everything. So my Don't Mess With Texas approach was about me being a young cat wanting to put Texas on the map, because we used to be scared to really bring our music forward. We didn't think we were lyrically able to hang with people that was from New York. They had a platinum sound base and they had everything, so we were just trying to make a name for ourselves. So it really was about Texas and Houston. That's all it was really about. So I couldn't see this far for sure.
So we're talking about 20 years for Don't Mess With Texas. Now, when I did some more research on you, I counted, and you got 23 albums over the course of 20 years, including you released Peeping In My Window and Platinum in the Ghetto in 2001 together.
Well, I got maybe 23 albums, but I probably did 50 CDs. Easy. So, you know, some albums, like in 2012, bringing 713 to the forefront, and I wanted to bring it out. I did 12 in 1 year. And all original beats. You know, I did the 713 series with Slab World and Testimony and just a bunch of them. I actually did 12 in 1 year. I was almost giving them to the distributor. I was selling them for anything, 10,000, 5,000, 7,000. It wasn't about the money. It was me first getting ready to go my separate ways from Swish House on a good note. So I just wanted to bring the word 713 to the format, and I done anything that I could do to make people just start screaming the word 713. So in a 12-month span, I did 12 mixtapes. So from a mixtape, and my mixtapes are never really mixtapes because I do mixtape beats, but I always really do original beats. My fans buy a lot of my music because everything I do, I put hooks on them, I make them songs. So even my ABAs, people don't even understand why I do an ABA. They be thinking that's the album when I do it. So from a 23 album standpoint of 23 albums being called the album, but from a CD standpoint and going to the studio, at least 50.
I know, I've been knowing you a long time. Me and Keke get our haircut at the same barbershop.
Yeah, I'm going in the morning.
About that time. But you've always been an humble dude. Like, how did you remain like so grounded, you know, for a career that has such longevity?
Well, I had my arrogant moments too. I had to clean up, do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying? I had to be a young fool instead of old, you know what I'm saying? So younger, man, it was real big to me to get my point across when I was more younger because of doubt. You know, so much doubt and so much, you know, they call it hate now, but back then it was doubt and ridicule, and they couldn't think I couldn't get it done. Coming from the Screw Tapes, it was so big to me to transfer that kind of rap and that kind of music into to a mainstream type of set. People don't know that most people thought that I was going to do Don't Mess With Texas in a freestyle format because our freestyle was so big. I had 20, 30,000 friends already from a Screw Tape standpoint. So the biggest thing about Don't Mess With Texas was they was expecting it to be a freestyle album, and all I really did was take my freestyle type of format and put it in a poetry form and made it the blueprint of the city, changed the culture to the city. This is the album that changed it. So throughout that, you know, I was real arrogant. I came out, I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to challenge Scarface. I wanted to challenge for the crown. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I thought I was the best. I looked up to Pat. That was my idol. And from the moment that Pat died, I just wanted to be the best. And I done. So the humbling process is like I was watching the P. Diddy movie. That's something, hey, it's still a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? But I have humbled myself. My children humble me. You know what I'm saying? My situations, my background, where I came from. So, man, it's an easy process now, man, to, you know, just be humble and accept everything that's given to me.
Now we're celebrating the 20th year anniversary of Don't Mess With Texas. Now next year, it'll be 20 years for the commission. The next following year, it'll be 20 years for It Was All a Dream. And then 2020, it'll be 20 years from Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I ain't gonna celebrate all of them 20. You know what I'm saying? I'm only celebrating Don't Mess With Texas because it's the true blueprint to the city. What I tell people is I feel like it's the most influential album that came out in this city. Not from, you know, hey, Destiny Child and Scarface and all that. These are very huge albums and platinum albums. But what this album done for the city and the opportunities that it gave other rappers that came from my era and gave the people, gave everybody legs, you know. Everybody want to tell, you know, this album, even Fat Pat, that's my album, Ghetto Dreams, they want to challenge Ghetto Dreams against Don't Mess With Texas. The difference is the timing of Don't Mess With Texas and when it came out and the doubt of it and what it did. You know, it still broke records. I done 30,000 independent records the first week. You know, these kind of numbers, and that album was so big for this city from a Screw Tape. Now the album the year before, which was 3 in the Morning, and it held Pimp the Pen, that was very big.
That was the
Loved
first
it.
rap song I ever learned.
Yes.
Oh, Pimp the Pen.
Hey,
that did.
it was so slow I could learn the words.
What?
Hey, that did everything for me. You know, that did everything for me. So right at that, I had bidding wars. You know, a bidding war was number $5,000 or $10,000 back then.
Right.
You put 10,000 on the table, you had
Like,
a bidding war. That was like $100,000 today. So you know, Don't Mess With Texas getting ready to come out. It was unbelievable, the buzz around it, the you know, the everything that people was expecting and not expecting to it. So I always tell people it was the most influential album for the culture. Everything that you see now, from the TVs and the cars and the way we riding and the slabs and the candy reds and all that, that album gave the blueprint to the city to be able to make these things even be possible still 20 years later, man, and it's crazy. So I just felt like we couldn't let this moment and this album go without being celebrated. And to be honest, it really just dawned on me like in January. Oh, you know, Lord, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It flying. So, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, you know, kind of, it started surfacing itself in June. You know, back then the bootlegging was different. You know, it came out at one time because it was on cassette and it was in the stores here. But the buzz of it and the actual taking place was July 1st, 1997. It came out a little bit like 2 weeks before, like in June.
June
So,
17th.
wow, you know a little bit more than me. So, you know what I'm saying? So I started celebrating it this year around South by Southwest. I gave a 20-year anniversary show. It was beautiful. And I just felt like being close to my proclamation day and with 713, it'll be so much hype and so much love for me to drop it on 713 day, re-release it, 5 new songs on it. And this year in 17, that's actually 713 backwards and forward, 713 that way, 713 this way. So it was just, it was in God's favor for me to do that. And hey man, it's beautiful. We 2 days out and I'm just, you know, I'm hyped up about it.
Yeah, man, me too. Like I said earlier, man, I'm 22, so it's gonna give me the opportunity to go back and actually listen to it from the organic standpoint of it first being presented to me. But I kind of want to talk about the legendary Southside song and the creation process of that, man. When did or how did you come up with what is today now Houston's dance, the Southside?
Oh well, this is so crazy. So Southside, man, was this is a funny story, but I was actually I was riding and I was thinking about this story the other day because I was riding and listening to the album. And I was just had goosebumps on listening to the album. You know, my son, he pulls it back up. He got his favorite songs on it. And when I'm listening to this album, if I really wasn't saying dates or time and you couldn't hear the young Keke in my voice, I do think that I could re-release this album again. You know what I'm saying? It's that much. I never told nobody this, but I think I'm a little tougher than I was. I'm tough today. Hey, listen, I feel like I got something today. But boy, Lil Keke was something to be dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Because I loved it so much more. The game is so much business now, you know, and I don't get to love it as much as I do. Everything I do, I'm already thinking about that check and how I'm going to get this money and how I'm going to promote it and do this. Back then, and I tell the younger artists, and I'm getting more to your question, but I tell younger artists, enjoy the moment of putting the album together and having fun. Y'all ain't went to no shows and excuse the expression, y'all ain't found no girls and had a good time and went to the club. Y'all so ready to be the boss and have your own brand and turn up so fast. To me, all Keke wanted to do was rhyme. Everything with red, everything with blue, everything with screens and coming down, and that's all I used to think about all day. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be in the studio. So the funny thing about the Southside was I was young and I was doing a little time. You don't even know what for, but I just was doing it at the time. So I was, you know, in the county, and it was a guy in there. He used to do a song every day around 6 or 7 o'clock. He used to beat on the tables and he had a song called The North Side. And at this time, you know, the North Side slept on this side of the tank, man, and we slept on this side of the tank. Right. So he used to do this song every day about, you know, the North Side. So everybody over here, I was already kind of, when I was in jail at this time, I already had a screw tape buzz. I already was a screw tape man. So in that, they knew who I was at this age. I maybe was 18 or 19, and I had been going to Screw House since 15 or 16, 17. I was going to Screw House from Worthing and Jones. So he was like, man, we need to come up with a Southside. So the beat of the melody that he was beating on the bed and doing was kind of like Friends, you know, the Houdini song, Friends. So if you go back, man, I did a screw tape when I first got out. It was called The Return. And it's just like Southside, but it got different names in it, different melodies and different things. So I made that actual song in there, and I came out and I told Screw 2 weeks before I got ready to come home, I was like, Screw, man, I got this song I'm gonna come home and do, man. It's gonna be crazy. And I never forget coming home and doing that mixtape called The Return. Is one of the biggest screw tapes ever, and the vibe, quoting it from the Bassment boys. It was a packed house, and I came in and Screw dug through the crates. He found the Houdini, put it on, put the Friends on, the instrumental, and I done this flow, man. And it drove it. It took the streets by storm. It became one of the biggest screw tapes in the streets. It also helped my buzz and me get ready before the 3 in the morning. So what people don't know, I had the Southside format to Southside even before I did Pimp the Pen. And then when I did Pimp the Pen and got my deal with Jam Down, the first song that I recreated was Southside. And the dance part was something that just kind of creeped its way into it, because we used to already be doing all this shocking and rocking and stuff. So I kind of just put that in, and it made it a 2-part song where I was kind of throwing up the deuce and giving dab, talking about the slap, and then switched it over to doing the Southside. And the radio wouldn't even play it because at the time we had a big North Side Southside battle out here, and it was a lot of dying and killing and over a lot of street stuff, so they wanted no parts of it. But shout out to Robert Scorpio. That's before some of y'all time.
I remember Robert Scorpio.
Robert Scorpio was a very, very influential person to this music and this hip hop scene. Very big, you know what I'm saying? So Robert Scorpio gave the thumbs up to play it, and it became huge. And people don't know, the first time that I ever performed Southside from a show standpoint was at Chocolate Town. And Chocolate Town was a Northside club, very, very big Northside club. And I remember them booking me, and we drove out there in one car. We was that scared. We went in the limo. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the whole crew, like, we went in this limo, and we already made the decision. We got guns and everything. We ain't doing Southside. Ain't no way in the world. We already know they don't even want us to do this. So we went in there and we tearing this place up. We rocking it. We doing the new Pimp the Pen. We doing Going Down. We doing the 3 in the morning Pimp the Pen. They going crazy. So it's we trying to creep out of that door and get out of there, and they turn that Southside on.
Come here.
Come here. And I was like, don't turn that Southside on. We out there in that limo by ourselves. Don't do it. And we turned that Southside on, and man, we took that place. We tore that place up. And then it gave me the legs, and I became one of the biggest artists in the city instead of being one of the biggest artists from my side of town. And it just caught the wave. And from here, man, it never went away. It's times I wanted it to go away. I wanted Southside to go away. I ain't want no more. I'm tired of performing. I don't want to do it no more. I'm just tired of it. I just can't get away from it. It's just the biggest song. When I'm going to be able to leave it alone. So to this day, I embrace it. It's still one of the #1 sellers that I got on iTunes, and that's the history of Southside.
Sports. Big sports fan.
Big.
I heard you do a little coaching yourself, man.
Big. Big
coaching.
Big coaching. I put it down a little bit for the last year. You know what I'm saying? That's what we'll get back into it, but that's kind of what I got the Barack Obama Award from behind my
Lifetime Achievement.
My Lifetime Achievement Award behind the stuff that I did in the community with the coaching and stuff. I just retired from the coaching thing maybe 2 years. Wait a minute. This is maybe my second year off because my baby boy, he doing his thing now, so I kind of put more of my time into when I was coaching him. He played for me 1 year. I was so tough on him, you know what I'm saying? I was so tough on him because I'm tough on my team, and as a coach I've been to 3 Super Bowls. I won 1, I lost 2, and
featured on the Tykes, right? Or on one of the HBO specials?
One of them, yeah. And I just I was so hard on him that year. I just decided for the last year I was gonna be a dad, which I'm the craziest dad outside at the football field. You know what I'm saying? All the parents, they love me to death, so I just put it down for that. But I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back a little bit in a minute later once I get through with them. So now I'm just kind of wrapped up into him. He's 11, 12. He can be 12, and he's a star now. He's putting up 20 touchdowns and all that. So I'm just wrapped up into that.
Hey, y'all ain't ever been in the barbershop and talk about sports. In the barbershop, so you've been in the barbershop with Keith talking about sports.
Hey, we got put out the barbershop last weekend. The ladies got married last week.
You got to get out.
And we in the barbershop where it's joint right now. In Houston, it be like this. We call this our Black Man Country Club.
Right.
So whenever these women get to having a little part of the beauty shop inside of that, it kind of mess everything up because we go hard. So last week we were going so hard, man, the ladies put us out, man. And you know what I'm saying, we argue about them sports. Sports is my second love. It's really my first love, you know what I'm saying? I love it just as much as I love music. So when you want to get under my skin and you want to get close to me, you go to talk about some sports, and I'll be at all these radio stations all night.
I'm going to tell you how to really get under his skin quick.
What?
Say something bad about Kobe. Say something bad about Lakers.
My son named Kobe. He's named after the Kobe, so that tells you how much I'm a big Laker fan. People don't think that I'm a Rocket fan, but I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Rocket fan too. I just love the Lakers. I grew up in a household where it was Lakers and Cowboys. My daddy wasn't a Rocket fan or a fan, any of that for a significant reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I had an older father, and I want to tell my fans this too. I had an older father, and he. You know, the Houston Oilers, when they first used to start playing, they played in Robinson Stadium in 3rd Ward. It wasn't no Astrodome. It wasn't none of that. So with us all being together, and I can say this, they made all those, you know how they come build projects and they go get different men to come help do stuff and give them jobs. Well, they gave my dad and them a yearly job to help build Robinson Stadium in 3rd Ward. So he was one of the founding members that helped build the stadium and do all that. So when they got ready to get the tickets, when the Oilers team came and they got ready to get the tickets, they wouldn't let any black people get any 50-yard line tickets or get on the field, and they made them get, like after they built this stadium, they made them get way in the dirt to watch the game. So from that moment, he became, I don't like nothing Houston, nothing. So when I was young, my TV wasn't on Channel 2 watching the Oilers. It was on Channel 26 watching the Cowboys. It was on Saturday, and the Lakers was the Showtime Lakers, and most of their games were televised. So I was a Laker fan. People think I became a Laker fan from Kobe, which I love him to death, but I've been a Laker fan and I've been a Cowboy fan. But it doesn't take from, I love the Texans, and I let it rock. I got the Texans tattooed on me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a Texas fan and a Rocket fan. I just don't let the people at the barbershop know because I want to do a lot of arguing with them about it. So.
Okay, I don't know Keke Ball. We got you sitting here. You got your son playing. Is he going to the Lakers?
Oh no, you know, I don't know if he going to the. I'm like LeVar Ball, you know what I'm saying? I love LeVar Ball. He a little over the top for me, but you know, I love LeVar. Hey, trust me, I'm a dad like that. Hey, I love my boys, you know what I'm saying? And I love sports, so. But I'm a Rocket fan. Y'all don't get it twisted. 7-13.
Get into that Lifetime Achievement Award for Barack Obama. How monumental was that for you?
That was scary.
Scary.
Super scary because I was like, how the hell I got that? You know what I'm saying? Because the way it was offered to me and the way it was mentioned to me to get, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They had me in a pool of, hey man, soldiers with Purple Hearts and congressmen and all this. It was just based on they was gonna give it out, and my CPA, you know, my accountant, my CPA, she was like, man, I want to put you in this pool. You do so much, and I want to try you. I'm in with these people who are making these votes. I'm just gonna throw your name in. It'd just be good for you to be your name in it. So like, you know, that went so far over my head. I'm like, okay, you can do that if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So kind of getting close to the end of the vote, and she was like, man, I got a strange feeling you may get a chance to win it, man. Because they breaking down each week. It's getting it's thinner. They breaking down, and I'm steady checking, and it's just like you like in the last 3 people. I'm like, man, when you stop, I don't even want to start putting this in my head. You know what I'm saying? And man, when they woke up and called me and told me that I won a Lifetime Achievement Award from Barack Obama, it was surreal. And at the same time, man, it was a sad thing too, because I'm not a comment guy. What I mean by that is, I'm even killed. You know, if you saying Keke is the most hatred and I can't stand him, or you praise me, I never really see it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do a post, so sometimes I may go back and forth with a fan about some merchandise or some sports or something like that. For the most time, you know, I've got 30, 40, 50 comments. I don't got time to go down them and get the vibe of them. That's what a lot of young artists do. They read these comments and they break their hearts. They got thin skin. So I don't really do that. So, but when I made the Lifetime Achievement Award, it was trending and buzzing so big from an American standpoint all over Facebook till I tuned in. And I went to read. And man, and some of these people that I'm telling you about, some of these Army vets and some of these people who, man, it almost made me I wanted to give it back. Oh, I don't want it there. You know what I'm saying? Because they was going, it was that racial.
It was going in?
It was that racial. You know what I'm saying? It was that racial, and it was that, you know, and my CPA had to tell me, you know, even policemen, I've had officers pull me to the side, older officers and sheriffs pull me to the side, and man, don't you ever be ashamed of what you just got and what they giving to you, no matter what you said. You know what I'm saying? So it was bittersweet. You know what I'm saying? It was a great thing, and at the same time, it was an eye opener. You know what I mean? I never I've been through a lot of hate, but I never been through a racial thing like that so bad. So it was crazy, but it was great, and it was based on I don't do this literally thing for money. I've never done. I've spent multiple thousands of dollars on kids, and not just on football equipment. I've had 4 teams, and each time I've bought all the equipment, bought everything, rechanged it. But it was more about the kids who I haven't ate last night, and I've never got a chance to go to the football game, and you know, and I've been having the same shoes on a year and a half, and those kind of kids. It was more about that. So doing that for those kids and providing and helping throughout all those years, I never knew that the blessing from that would be a Lifetime Achievement Award from the president. So that was great.
7-13, self-made.
Okay, 7-13, man, I adopted that for my brand because, man, let me tell some people, it is such an honor to be a star here, to be a legend in my city, to be the respect, the heights that I've reached in this city. I sold 3 million records independent, and some of the and when I told you, when I first dropped my first album, man, and 3 or 4 years later, I had done 200,000 or 300,000 in the city. One thing, no matter where, when I went to New York and mess with Sway and I go to California, mess with Ice Cube, I have no better feel and no better respect than at my house and at home. And being a star here in Houston meant everything to me. So when I got ready to brand myself out, the first thing I wanted to do was brand myself around something that had my city. I got some of the most, the SUC fans and my Houston fans have been some of the most loyal. They the reason why I'm still here today. Not from a lawyer standpoint of buying. My fans buy records. That's what I tell the difference between these young artists. Making records and selling records is two different things. Yes. So I still sell records hard. So, and based on my fan base and my people here. So when I came out with my brand, I made it 713. I wanted to switch it up a little bit from 713, and my goal was, a lot of people still say 713, but I wanted to make sure that I imprinted it into their head. So as I did 713 and it became big and it started to spread and to do it, I adopted another one of my brands, which was Great Tape OG, and it's another one of my brands that's under my under my umbrella, and it's more for my Screw Tape fans and my fans who've been riding with me. You got Screw Tape fans that's in the military and the army who moved away and they still buying it. They love Screw Tape. They in Oklahoma, Arizona, whatever. So I was just like, I had something for them. I was steady trying to come up with something that represented me, that was gonna take me outside of my element, outside of 713. And I used the example like, I love New York. I love the shirts that I say I love New York, but I'm not gonna wear it here. You know what I'm saying? So it was the same thing with the 713s. People who love Keke, but here in California, you might not catch him with a 713 shirt on. Right. So I was like, what's gonna represent me? What's the epitome of me? What represents what I do? So I came up with, I'm gonna do self-made, and I'm self-made. I came from nothing. I came from the bottom, and so I decided to make that one of my lead brands, self-made, and it's been, hey man, it's taken off, and I just think because of everything I do and the way that I represent being self-made, people think that mean I done everything. No, that doesn't mean you done everything for yourself. That mean when you realize what it's gonna take to move on, what it's gonna take to keep on getting up, scratching, just self-made, just making yourself, realize the help that you need. Everything that represents being self-made. The lawnmower man who has one lawnmower and now he got 5. The college student who worked 5 jobs and done what they had to do. Self-made. You know what I'm saying? So when I put that tag, it represents me so much. It spread it quick. I have to watch myself now because it's taking off just as fast as 713. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get into the brand. I'm having more stuff that I have to make self-made because it's universal. It's for more people, and that was my approach and to get it done. So now I've got a new logo. It's self-made 713. But the thing what I do is, like you see on the back of the hat, everything that I do, I represent it with 713. So no matter if it got self-made on it, no matter if it got Great Tape OG on it, somewhere under the tag of 713 is going to be about it. Represent my city and do what I do. So self-made 713 is rolling.
That's what's up, man. Let's touch on your camp a little bit. I understand you got a couple of artists up under you that have been pushing and moving a little bit.
What I do is I got partners.
Okay.
And I help them out. I do what I do. I haven't actually signed anyone. You know what I'm saying? Because these artists are a little different than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love them all. And what I try to do is I give them opportunity to have whatever they want to have. In the future, I'm about to sign. The first artist that I am going to sign is going to be, hey, he's going to get the plug. And then my thing is I try to tell people, I'm going to show you how to eat. I'm going to fix you a plate. I'm going to let you eat off my plate. Then I'm going to show you how to eat. What a lot of artists don't know is 2 things. It's sad, but it's true. Everybody ain't going to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what's so cold. And
can you say it again?
Yo, everybody ain't gonna make it, and that's a hard truth. You know, everybody. It's impossible that everybody get up there, go to the studio. It's gonna happen. So what I try to tell an artist is, let me show you how to eat. It's a lot of artists that only aim is to be big as Drake and big as Lil Wayne. You might not be Lil Keke. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing about it, what I try to explain to them is, just because you don't get to be platinum, that doesn't mean you can't make money in this. A lot of artists choose the wrong thing. You might have been a great manager. You might have been a great beat maker. You might have been a great host. You might have been, you don't know what you just want to be, everybody want to rap, man. People that put down doing everything. I have people that work for me, make thousands of dollars. They the driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just know your lane. You know what I'm saying? And everybody ain't going to make it in this rap. So my thing is, I try to preach to the young artists. That doesn't mean I don't tell you to put your all in it, because it's a new game where whatever you're doing, you got to do it times 10. You know what I'm saying, to make it work. When I was coming up, it was we were selling 100,000 albums. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was. The game wasn't so crowded. The game is extremely overcrowded right now. So my whole thing is I try to tell artists, if you're gonna be, you know, in the rap game, do what you got to do behind 10. I want a hard worker. Hard work beat talent all the time. Anytime, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I had to realize that I had to start mixing my hard work with my talent. I'm pretty talented, man. I can make an album. I've done some of these albums that I told you about, 50, Gangsta Grill, ABAs. I've done them in one night. Me and T-Fat, we done an album in a whole night. One night, it's over. 20-something songs, mix it the next day, it's ready to roll. Y'all think this is something that's been going on for 3 months. We done it in a night. So the talent level was there. I started having to learn how to work hard. And people don't know, man, some of my first, when I got with Swish House and Power Wow, man, I'm Power Wow's favorite rapper. He gonna tell the whole world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I learned so much professionalism from Power Wow, not being late. I'm sorry, I think I'm about 2 minutes late for y'all today. You know what I'm saying? How not to be late, how to be on time, how to shake baby's hand. I mean, you know, kiss the baby, shake hands, be there, be real interactive with the fan. Like I told you, when we came up, it wasn't about that. We didn't do mixtapes and demos, so we didn't have professionalism. And it took us so long. So my later career, I became a hard worker, became more professional, became more humble, like we talked about. And man, it's helped me so much. So my thing to the artists, and always the advice, stop telling everybody about your talent. Let me see how hard you can work, you know, and that's going to determine who you can be, and find the right feel and the right craft that you're supposed to be in this, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the beat makers, they want to be rappers too. The DJs, they rappers. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, this ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's really the main thing. This ain't for everybody. People going to college and throwing away real estate and throwing away engineering and everything to come do this here because of these chains and these cars and these quick fixes, man. And listen, man, I got all that. I got money, I got cars, I got big houses, and I still try to, you know, what about I ain't get to see my family for a week and a half? I'm sleeping, I'm tired right now. I ain't been asleep in a month. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's that. And a lot of artists not ready for that part of it. They just ready for the social media part of it, to hurry up and post that chain and post that turn up. So do your hard work, and hard work going, you know, paying something. God gonna always bless your effort.
That's what's up, man.
Do you see Houston on that tide changing again to where music is about to be prominent, to where we're getting ready to have that buzz that we once had?
Sorta. I love, you know, the thing is, I do, and I try to. We've always had this problem, a competition problem.
Yes.
You know, like
within the city.
Within the city.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm pretty sure Atlanta got a competition problem, but we don't. A competition problem, we don't get to see it. You know what I'm saying? One thing about when Future hot, he the hottest one. I'm gonna pass them hooks to everybody. Everybody gonna get one of these hooks, and we're gonna go get this show money and everything. One thing about a Houston artist, when he get hot, I want to tell all y'all that I'm hotter than all y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I told y'all been holding me back. So if we can pass that problem up, you know what I'm saying? We can. And they don't understand, man, that these executives, they know everything. They watching. They can see the divide. They can see the conquer. They can see that, you know, that we ain't together. We in big competition. We fighting over fame. We do that. So it makes them hard to want to come down and hand out $500,000, hand out $1 million, because y'all so against each other. When they look down in Atlanta, they just see a big conglomerate of artists that's steady getting bigger and passing those tools along. You know, every time one of them get hot, you're going to see a chain of 2, 3 more of them get hot, because they keep passing it to the other one. So if we can figure a way to do that, I see us growing. And you know what I'm saying? We got to stop being in so much competition.
From the OG perspective, what would you recommend, like, a fix, solution?
Humbleness. Just be humble. You know what I'm saying? You don't, soon as you, the cool thing is a lot of these artists 50 cent over their lunch money, way 50 cent over it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even have these stats you got ain't even equaling up to what you thinking. You know, you got a wine swag with bill money. You know, that kind of, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. Like I can wake up and and live off what I've done. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really doing all this here to keep staying relevant, and all this self-made and everything I do is just stay relevant. I can go in the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, this catalog, hey, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm just in fix mode. All my people that I'm bringing, I'm trying to make sure they get something. And my people that I hire, man, let's go fix some of this old stuff we got. Let's get some more money, because I got the money. It's there. My whole thing is humble yourself to what's going on, and, you know, make yourself available to whatever. You know, I'm not saying, man, listen, man, this is crazy. I'm not saying that every joke that call that you got to wait. That's impossible, because, you know what I'm saying, hey man, it's somebody on the phone that's a new rapper every day. I'm saying make yourself available and be more respectful to what's going on to the internet radio people. And the gold thing, man, is some of y'all ain't gonna never make it to the big radio. You need to try to make sure that the underground was so much important to us when we was young, because it's who was made of. Listen, man, God has blessed me so much. I don't need TV or radio. When I get the TV and the radio, it's a plus. It's hey, when Chunk Up the Deuce is running across the screen and I'm a G and we got big money. If it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing, I'm trying to get artists to understand that if you got good relationships and you make yourself big where you want to be, man, you can be a star right here in the city, in this region, and make a great living. I'm talking about live real good. Some people, they so ready to get a hot song, and I'm going to Atlanta, I'm going to California, I'm going, and the people that made you and what you got to do is such, man, do you know how I feel good? I can do anything I want to do in my city, on any side of town, at any time. I ain't got to have no guns, I ain't got to do nothing, I ain't got to shoot nobody, hey man, stop being, and another thing about the young, stop being so tough. You know what I'm saying? Stop being, you know, everything is I'm gonna kill, and no, you're not. You know what I'm saying? So, and then since you're doing all that, and you know, so my whole thing is they hate to hear from me, and I love all of them. I'm like this here, man. If you can make some money, I'm impressed in this game. So you ain't got to worry about if OG hating on you, if I'm mad at you. If you can take care of yourself, put your song out, get out of here and working to get you some money, I am impressed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very hard and it's overcrowded. So my whole thing is, when you get that power, when you get that fame, and you get some, you know, just spread it as much as you can. But then the culture, represent. Stop, man. The first thing you want to do is it's for the OGs. We don't need to keep on, soon as something coming up, knocking it down. And the young ones don't need to, as soon as you get to doing something, thinking you done already moved us out the way. You ain't gonna move us out the way, you know what I'm saying? Because the mainstays that's here, the Zeros, the Slim Thugs, the Elder Statesmen, the difference between y'all, us, and them, making records and selling records is two different things. Point blank, period. Going in the studio and making a record, and making that record and putting it out and selling it, that's two different things, man. You know, so when you learn that knowledge right there, you good.
There it is. So when you drop your new, we can have it, right? We can expect you back when you come with your news.
Oh, Self-Made 2. Self-Made 1 was to bring the brand. That's what I do. I do albums in order to promote the brand, get the brand going. And I feel good when I come in here and you make any type of reference to Self-Made. That let me know you know what's going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? So Self-Made 2 is on the way. I kind of like to get wrapped up into my album. I'm doing this album a little bit different. I'm gonna they're gonna feel like I'm preaching. I'm going into a little bit more of talking about the game and what I need to do, and you know what I'm saying. It's not from a Jay-Z standpoint. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying though, it's not gonna be a whole lot about cars and the culture and all that. I stick to the culture most of the album, and people don't know my life ain't just about cars. I do a lot. So the Self-Made 2 is going to be more about, you know, the man that I am and what I'm doing. So it's coming. I'm working on it. I just been trying to I ain't been able to do nothing with this 20-year anniversary thing, but the 20-year anniversary album, it comes out this Thursday. I got 5 new songs on it, so it's going to sound like a new album to a lot of people.
Where can people get it?
Selfmade713.com. I'm selling it personally on my website. And you know, it's gonna be a couple more. So South, they're gonna have it. And you know, the game is just different from a physical standpoint. You better go to iTunes, Amazon, do all that to get it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
you gonna be out the trunk of your car again?
Always.
The ABA was out the trunk of the car.
Always.
Put them home at the barbershop. Keep
Always. I'm out the trunk 20 years flat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, people don't know, man. that's just the hustle in me. You know what I'm saying? I always got me 2,000 or 3,000 put to the side where I can, sell albums and do that. But physically, it's becoming a hard game for places like Best Buys, and I'm one of them last artists that's real still got a Best Buy account. When I do my albums like Self Made and Money Don't Sleep, you can actually go buy it in Best Buy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people. These people don't even have Best Buy and them, they shutting rap accounts down. I'm from the Soundwave era where you can really buy an album and really buy a CD and really do a sound scan. The game is so digital now, and that's how I've been able to survive because I don't have no problem switching over. Hey, I adapt the time quick. I love the youngsters. That's another thing. I go get them youngsters. Hooks and where you at? Love you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm down with them. They know OG gonna call. When I call you, let me hear what you got. And what I want to do, I just take their music that adapts to me and fits with me. Now a lot of it, oh man,
no, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna.
I'm lost, man. I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. But a lot of it, I deal with it. Like I love all that, man. South walking them, jumping up and down and going crazy, man. I love all that, man. Do your thing. I ain't knocking nothing. South walking, get on that plane, go get him a check, get him some money, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. My thing is just do you. You know what I'm saying? Have a great time. I tell the young artists, learn how to have a great time before you ready to be the boss and take over. Lil Keke had a great time. You understand? Whoa, man, I had a great time. Hey, man, I had a great time because I wasn't worried about none of this. Now, and what I'm telling them, now being the boss is the biggest. Lord, I told somebody today, is there any kind of way I can get another Lil Keke just for 2 weeks so I can finish this up, everything I need to do, and I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? So we good, man. You know what I'm saying? All the younger artists, I be want y'all to know, OG ain't hate, man. Y'all get it, man. Get it how you live. And I'm still available. You check these young artists' albums, I'm on now. I do a lot of work for them.